I am Keen-Yin. I am a 17-year-old high schooler from the USA and also a researcher at the UN Sustainable Development Solutions Network. So, in 2018, a 15-year-old girl sat alone outside the Swedish parliament with a hand-painted sign that said, "School Strike for Climate." Now that girl was Greta Thunberg. She wasn't old enough to vote. She wasn't part of any official youth council. But her quiet protest sparked a global movement. Millions of students striking for climate justice across the world. It's inspiring, but it also reveals something painfully frustrating. Youth are often celebrated only after going viral. Most of the time, they are shut out before they turn 18. Even the official UN Sustainable Development Youth Networks only accept members 18 and above. So if you're 15, 16, or 17, when you're first starting to care about real-world issues, you're told, wait your turn. But Greta didn't wait, and neither should anyone else who wants to make a change for better. Burning forests, mass pollution, severe climate change. These aren't just policy issues, they're lived realities here in Malaysia. So here we are, a generation growing up in uncertainty, watching the world change through a phone screen while trying to do something about it. Now, gazing across this crowd, I see invisible strings connecting all of us to this shared world. We watched this world shut down together in 2020 as the COVID-19 pandemic spread. We learned what uncertainty feels like, not just from textbooks, but from lived experience. We saw how fragile systems really are, how leadership scrambles, how decisions made in conference rooms ripple into our lives, our families, our mental health. And I still remember that feeling of staring out my window during lockdown, watching time crawl while everything around me felt stuck. I had so many ideas I wanted to try, projects I wanted to start, ways I wanted to help society, but no one was asking for it. No one was listening for it. And I felt like I was waiting for permission to speak on these matters. We were told to study hard so we could one day make a difference. But difference was needed then, and that difference is still needed now. Yet even now, the structures around us haven't caught up. We hear talk about SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, innovation, youth empowerment. We see community projects run about youth, but not by youth. If you're not convinced yet about the potential of youth mobilization, I want you to consider this. In Malaysia, we've seen promising momentum at the university level. At TEDxUTAR, we're already part of the UN's SDG Youth Network, a sign that the conversation is moving forward. But what about those even younger than university? What if the same energy that we see on university campuses concerning the SDGs could be planted earlier into classrooms, student councils, and co-curricular spaces? Imagine a school where climate action isn't just a debate topic. It's a community that partners with the town council, where a 16-year-old can run local recycling audits, and it's seen as civil action and not just homework. That's the idea behind what I call SDG incubators in secondary schools, where curriculum meets cause, where the journey from awareness to impact begins, not when you're 18, but when you're ready. Your school would become a launch pad and not just a classroom. Now, as Gen Zs here in the room, we're a generation fluent in digital activism, meme culture, and global conversations. But more than that, we care very deeply. Studies show that Gen Zs rank purpose above pay, We're more likely to switch jobs or start movements if values do not align. We've grown up watching influencers shape public opinion, seeing youth-led movements flip elections, topple outdated policies, and push companies to change. In other words, we don't want to just be heard, we want to be trusted, and we're not waiting for permission, we're building what is missing. So, what can you do? So, this is a framework that I call click, trace, and connect. The first step is click. That is to turn your screen into a source of media that is not just entertainment. To follow credible youth organizations such as Earth.org, Youth Care Malaysia, and to let the scrolls educate and not just numb. Next, there is create. To be passionate about SDG goals and to build way in depth, to be disgustingly informed. Are you angry about hunger? Consider starting a campus food bank. Are you passionate about mental health? Build campaigns that reach teens and provide resources for help. Lastly, connect. Push yourself to network, assimilate ideas, and join virtual youth dialogues like ASEANs, and write for SDG publications. You don't need to wait until you're a professor or a graduate from university. We can't always expect someone to hand us a mic. Of course, I'm fortunate enough today to be invited by TEDxUTAR to speak on this matter, and I am so grateful for this, but not everyone has this opportunity. So, I encourage you all to build your own mic and to start now. And to educators here, professors, design curriculum that invites real-world action. Give students credit for showing up in their communities. And to universities, build bridges to secondary schools. Help students mentor and let teens tour your sustainable labs. Show them that they belong now, and show them how it is done. And to national bodies and international organizations, reframe what youth means. Don't make it just 18 to 30. Mean 15 and up, because passion starts very early, and social support should also start early on. So, I'll end with this. We're not just future leaders, we are present ones. And if a single 15-year-old like Greta could ripple across the world, imagine what a generation could do if we started trusting them earlier, equipping them better, and welcoming them now. And sometimes, all it takes is just one swipe to begin. Thank you very much.